suitcases to the Harvard Square T stop, and it was too late. Are you intending to use the colloquial interpretation of misogyny, meaning lack of respect for women, or the real definition, meaning hatred of women? Because hate is not the word I'd use to describe how I feel about what women have to offer. I raise an eyebrow at Beatrice, but she turns away and takes out her phone. But I spot an opening. So you think I'm hot, huh? Your head sure is. How long ago did you designate me one of Harvard's most bangable? She snorts. The fact that that's your takeaway makes the misogyny title oh so well-deserved. I'm just saying. In Latin last year, you called me a misogynistic twat, but this time you went with hot. You trying to tell me something? Fuck off, capitalist. She turns away to say something to Hero in Spanish. Hero smiles, tucking her blonde hair behind her ears, and mumbles quietly back. I've never met someone as shy as, or with a name as weird as, Hero. Every time she talks to me, which is not often, I feel like I need hearing aids. Beatrice shoots me a final look of disgust before pulling a book out of her backpack. Only once has Beatrice acted like I don't repulse her, and that was our first night on campus, when we had sex. Beatrice is the last person I thought I'd be attracted to. She's not skinny, her head's shaved, she has more attitude than my brother when a waiter takes over 3 minutes to take his order, and well, let's just say my family wouldn't approve. And it's just easier not to get on their bad side. But I couldn't not notice Beatrice. She was wearing a shirt that said, "Fuck the beats, read Austin," and was the only girl at the orientation party who wasn't all over me when they heard who my dad was. I walked over to her and said, "If you'd actually read On the Road, you would find..." She cut me off saying, "If you quote Jack Kerouac, I swear to God, I will dump my beer over your head. At least go for Ginsberg, he was less of a twat." She walked away, and I thought my groin would explode. Later, we ended up near each other on the dance floor. Alcohol had dulled her rage, and when she looked at me, I could tell I wasn't the only one who felt something. I put my hands on her hips, and when she brushed her lips against my neck, all I could think about was getting her alone. The next thing I remember was being in my room, her mouth all over me, my body on fire, our lust pushing us together with an intensity I'd never experienced, and haven't since. Afterward, I vaguely remember cuddling, which I never do, and talking, but who knows what about. Then I woke up to find Beatrice gone, which was surprising because usually I have to make up an excuse to get girls to leave. I saw her a week later, looking at her phone while a bunch of students waited in front of a locked classroom door. I glanced over my shoulder to make sure no one I knew was around and walked up to her. "Hey." And Beatrice looked at me with more disgust than I thought eyes were capable of emoting. The few times we've crossed paths over the 3 years since, she's made it clear that whatever was said between us could only result in bad blood. And it drives me absolutely insane that I was too drunk to remember what it was. My phone buzzes as we pull into our stop. "John, I'm here, asshole." My stomach seizes. "He's here," I mumble to Claudio. He nods and leans around me to Hero. "Ben's brother is here." Perfect timing. Hero seems to sink into herself as she smiles, her shoulders rising like they're mimicking the corners of her mouth. Claudio blows her a kiss, and I try not to roll my eyes. I'm honestly surprised Claudio and I are as tight as we are. We couldn't be more different. He smiles all the time, except for when he cries at commercials about puppies finding a forever home, whereas I don't. Crying is for war widows, and smiling makes my jaw hurt. I text John back as everyone exits the carriage and heads to the escalator. "Where are you? In the station?" "John, why do you text like you're writing an essay?" I clench my teeth.